Welcome everyone to another episode of Louisville Urban Explorer. Today I bring you to the Louisville Waterworks Pump Station number 1 and Museum. Alright, we're going to go ahead and check out the museum now. This is inside the Grand Hall. Love that spiral staircase. It's a picture of I guess that's the pump. This is just a small museum. It opened in 2014. Gives some of the history of the pump station. It's an old section of pipe from Camp Zachary Taylor. That's pretty neat. So we went from wood to cast iron. Different types of fire hydrants. So the price of admission is only $5. It is pretty small, but it does also include a walking tour of the pump station, which it's a pretty good deal. Ooh. Wouldn't want to drink that.
So you kind of look behind you. You're from Louisville, so you know that's the Ohio River. The Ohio River is 981 miles. It starts up in Pennsylvania, right next to Pittsburgh. It's going to go through West Virginia, Ohio, of course, Kentucky, Indiana. Then it's going to meet to the Mississippi River in Illinois at one of the southernmost cities of Cable. So really why Louisville becomes a city, how it becomes a city, is that kind of 1700s, right after the Revolutionary War, people are going west, heading west, once we have these lands along the Ohio River. Problem is, once we're heading west along the Ohio River, they're going to get stopped. And that's going to be stopped at the Falls of the Ohio, because really before we put the dams in the middle of the 19th century, you can't get past that. So as that happens, people are getting off. They get off on this side in Kentucky. All right. So as people get off on this side in Kentucky, Louisville begins to develop as a city. So as Louisville begins to develop as a city, as we get more and more people in the 1800s, we're going to need a sustainable source of water. So more and more sustainable source of water. It's also problematic because here in Louisville, people would just drink straight either from wells in the ground, or they're going to drink it from the Ohio River. Now I know the river looks pretty, but it's actually really dirty. So with its dirt, you can see all that germs with it, a lot of diseases. People are going to actually contract typhoid and cholera. Those are going to be the two main diseases. And actually, those are pretty fatal. And there's so many fatalities here in Louisville that Louisville becomes known as the graveyard of the West. Now, obviously, nobody wants to live in a city called the graveyard of the West. That's just not good for your reputation. So city government begins to make efforts in the 1830s to make a Louisville water company that's going to professionally manage the water supply. Now the Louisville Water Company that's here today that runs this facility that's still pumping water isn't founded until 1854. Now over the next few years they begin to sell stocks, shares of the company to generate the funds to construct this building. Construction begins here in 1857. It takes place over the next 3 years, and in 1860, specifically October 16th, 1860, we begin pumping from this facility. Now to kind of put that in historical perspective, really only 2-3 weeks later, Abraham Lincoln's going to become president of the United States. Then really a few months afterwards, we're going to see the southern states start to secede from the Union. So that's going to be the onset of the Civil War, just a few months after this facility was out here and look at both the building itself, pumping station number 1, and the water tower. You really get the feeling that the designers, Charles Hermany, Theodore Skowden, the original chief engineer and his assistant, they put a lot more design, they put a lot more aesthetic appeal into these buildings that really need be. So as we saw inside, as we saw in those pictures, the only thing that was ever in this building other than the museum now were those pumps. Nothing really too exciting for the public. Really, we kind of like to think as the whole building design as the first public PR tactic for the Louisville Water Company. Because as I said before, people are really getting their water either from the Ohio River, straight from it, or they're getting it from wells in the ground. When you think about that, both of those methods are dirty, but both of those methods are also going to be free. So it was going to be hard to kind of convince people to pay money out of their own pocket to get water that they can just get from their own backyard. So Theodore Skowden, really the main designer of this building, has the idea that if we spruce this up, if we make it look a little bit more classy, it's going to give the water company more legitimacy and more authority, and hopefully persuade people to purchase water from the water. What it was used for back in the day is, if you remember, those arms for the engines are going to press that water out with a lot of speed, a lot of velocity. It's going to flow underneath where we just were and shoot up to the top of this water tower because it's going so fast. And now when we go all the way up, you got to figure what comes up is going to come back down at some point. It's going to slowly fall back down, but it's going to do so a lot lower velocity than when it came in. The reason we needed to do that is because from this point, from here, it's then going to go out to that reservoir off on the distance about 2 miles away through our pipelines. Now our pipelines, they were and they still are underneath the grass median or it's in between the two driveways to access the park. And so when we have less velocity, less speed to the water flowing through it, there's going to be less wear and tear on our pipes. So really this whole water tower and any that kind of act in the same manner is all just preserving that company equipment. It's really just acting as kind of a pressure release valve for the water coming in and out of the pumping station. And so why it no longer works nowadays is because that entire process just gets handled manually by those electrical pumps. So if you were going the electrical pumps nowadays, it used to take 26 guys to work the pumps in there. There's not a single soul in there in the current ones nowadays because it's all automated, all run by computers. So a lot of people ask, is this still a working pipe? Is the standpipe still functional? No, it is not. It's no water has gone through it since the early 1900s, since 1911 when the pumps in there were deactivated.
The Louisville Water Tower and Pump Station Number 1 has tremendous historical value to the city of Louisville. It's definitely worth visiting if you haven't done so yet. Also, I want to mention that there is a large field area that is great for playing sports or for playing with your pets. There's also obviously a great view of the Ohio River. you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.